You're watching MMA Oddsbreaker. I'm Frank Trigg, of course. That's the Marine, Mike Richman, getting ready to do battle coming up in here against Goiti Yamauchi on Bellator 120, May 17th. Your last time out, you fought Desmond Green and lost a unanimous decision. What
Mhm.
happened during that fight? It kind of seemed like you were off a little bit. From me knowing you and watching you fight and watching you compete from before, it's kind of like you didn't seem at 100%. Was there something going on behind the scenes that we didn't know about?
Not so much. It was just one of those things where, to me, I know King Mo was complaining about it too. The canvas seemed super slippery that night for me. That's the only thing that I can come up with. I couldn't really explode off my feet, but he just had a really awkward style. He had a very when he threw his strikes, he had head down. He had a very awkward style. And I just didn't find my rhythm against him that night. It was a close fight. I mean, I could have done a lot more. I know a lot of people said they did the same thing you said. It seemed a little off, but his reach, his style, just the combination of things. I still feel it was close enough. I feel I did enough first and third to win the fight, but when it's that close, it happens that way, and you lose a decision. So.
Well, let's move off the bad and move on to the good. Which now you got Yamauchi coming up. I know if someone looks at the records, you're 16-4, he's 16-2. So it looks like all these guys are evenly matched up as far as fight records and fight skill and that whole game. Where do you see yourself being better than him? What's the one thing that you know for sure you're going to be better than him the entire fight?
I think my footwork and my stand-up will be better than his. I know he seems to like to scrap, but he seems to leave a lot of openings for my style. Um, so I believe my footwork and my stand-up game will be the edge in this fight. And fighting a fighter like him, he gives you the opportunity to connect in heavy shots. Like the Des Green. I was chasing him a lot. He didn't really engage too much. He kind of just did his his one jab and then move. But with Goiti, he gives you the opportunity to exchange, and then if you give me that kind of fight, it can be a dangerous outcome for that opponent.
Now, if you look at how you guys win, you have 7 KOs, 7 submissions, and then 2 decisions. So you're either going to KO a guy or you're going to submit him. He comes with 1 KO, 13 submissions, and 2 decisions. So as far as decisions go, you guys are evenly matched out. But everything else, he's obviously a big submission guy, looking for the submission the entire time. Now, for the folks at home that haven't seen him fight before, is he more of a submission guy that hits you a little bit and gets you rattled because he hit you to submit you? Or is he a guy that's only constantly looking for the submission game? He's only playing a grappling game the entire time?
I think it's a mix of both. I think he does stun guys. I think he stuns guys to the ground, and then his black belt abilities, that's when he puts them away with submission. So I think he does stun guys. He does do ground and pound, but then he finishes it off with a submission. I know he seems to like the omoplata setup from his guard to take people's backs. We've been really kind of being aware of that. That's where a lot of his rear naked chokes start, from that omoplata, taking the back and then finishing them there. But I think he does have some striking. I definitely believe it'll be like my Popo Pazea fight. I think he's going to come across. He's going to try to take me down and finish me.
Now, did you bring in anybody in particular in your training camp specifically to help mimic Cody's style, or is it just the same training partners you always have?
I really a lot of the same training partners, but I did utilize some of our jiu-jitsu guys that do gi and no gi that really don't necessarily train with the MMA fight team, but I do have some guys purple belt and above level that are we're getting in his guard, and they're trying to set up submission, set up the omoplata, and just trying to defend. And look for openings to when I'm in his guard. I'm there to land a couple shots and get back to my feet. And then go from there. So it's definitely just a defensive style that I've been practicing, staying out of submissions.
That's actually smart. And that's if I were you, if I was your coach in your corner, that's the exact same thing I would have had you practice and try to train camp. If I had to break the fight down and said, look, let's get Mike ready. It's going to be defensive. You have a great shot of knocking him out on your feet. Let's not get into a submission game where you catch something stupid. And let's beat him up a little bit before we do get to the ground. So that's actually, I agree with your coaching. I agree with the coaching staff for whatever that's worth.
Yeah.
Last thing before I let you out of here, it's the first pay-per-view for Bellator. You're on the Spike TV portion of the card. How do you feel, and how's it been for you, being part of the first pay-per-view card as a whole? You know, technically you're the prelims on Spike, and then they jump over to the main card on pay-per-view. But really, everyone's used to watching you guys on Spike. So I don't know. Do you think that a lot of those crowders are going to make the jump to pay-per-view for this card? Or do you think most of them are going to stay put and just watch the prelims?
It's hard to say. I was supposed to be on the first pay-per-view card, and with the whole Tito injury, I was on that one. That the whole show was on Spike. But as far as this one, I'm going to do the prelims portion. Looks super exciting. I'm going to do my best to get people excited. I mean, I would pay, if I was a fan, I would pay just to watch Chandler Alvarez. Just that one fight. I think a good majority will get the pay-per-view. There might be some that don't want to get it, but hopefully they'll be so amped up after the prelims that they will get it.
That's Mike Richman fighting May 17th. You can see his fight on Spike TV. He's fighting down in South Haven, Mississippi, against Goiti Yamauchi. It's going to be a great fight. I'm glad that it's finally coming together. I would have preferred to see this fight, though, up on the pay-per-view cards. I think it's got a lot of action, and it'll be a great way to start the pay-per-view portion of the card. But as it is, such as it is, you're on a Spike TV card, and all the better for us because we don't have to pay anything to watch you fight.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mike. Talk to you soon.
Yep, later.